While the Indiana Pacers' storybook playoff run just came to an awful ending with Tyrese Halliburton suffering one of the most devastating injuries in NBA history, tearing his Achilles in Game 7, the Pacers gave us one of the most exciting playoff runs I've ever seen. While it didn't end as most of us had hoped, this team and all of its players have shown just how elite they truly are. And at the top of that list is Pascal Siakam, the ultimate Swiss Army knife and the perfect second option. When discussing what you want out of your number 2, being a versatile and elite defender is at the top of the list, and Pascal is one of the few players in this league who can truly guard 1 through 5. And that has been on full display this postseason with all the different players he's guarded and shut down. In Game 3 against the Thunder alone, Pascal guarded 6 different players as the primary defender and held them collectively to 5 of 11 shooting or 45% from the field, including holding J-Dub, Jalen Williams to 1 of 3 of shooting, Alex Caruso to 0 of 2, and getting a crucial stop against SGA with 1 minute and 17 seconds left in the game. And for the finals, Pascal is probably the Pacers' best defender when it came to shutting down SGA or J-Dub. And for this series, he held both of them to very well below their average shooting splits. For SGA, he held him to 38% from the field on 26 attempts. For J-Dub, he held him to 22% from the field on 18 attempts, easily locking up the Thunder's 2 best offensive players. And while at 6'9", Pascal might seem like he would be at a disadvantage against these quicker, shiftier guards, that's just not the case because Pascal has exceptional foot speed, a great ability to just square his hips in front of his man, and has no problem staying in front of them where he can then use that massive size advantage at 6'9" to cut off passing lanes, alter and block shots, and attack their dribbles. And he did a particularly good job of attacking J-Dub's dribble and picking his pockets throughout the series. While Pascal is quick enough to stay with guards, he still has the strength to play up and guard opposing bruising 5s like Karl-Anthony Towns. And against the Knicks, once again, Pascal was probably the best defender the Pacers had for Cat, who was just going at and cooking Miles Turner throughout the Eastern Conference Finals. Against Turner, Cat averaged 10 points on 56% shooting per game, while against Pascal, he only averaged 5 points on 41% shooting per game. Cat probably has 10, 20, even more on Pascal, but he makes up for that with smart positioning in the post, constantly attacking that dribble with his long arms, and excellent athleticism that lets him recover and challenge shots at their apex even if he gets beat with a 1 or 2 body bumps. And for the postseason, Pascal has just been an elite defender no matter what position he's guarding. For the postseason, Pascal is holding opposing guards to 39% shooting on 147 attempts. He's holding opposing centers to 51% shooting on 68 attempts, and opposing forwards to 50% on 90 field goal attempts. However, if you cut Giannis from the forwards pool, Pascal has held every other forward he's matched up to 43% on 51 attempts. All of those numbers are well below average for the respective positions, showing just how versatile Pascal is and his ability to guard 1 through 5 at an elite level, even in the postseason when he's going up against all NBA, all-star caliber players in each and every round. However, his defensive impact extends far beyond just his individual matchup, as he's an elite team defender, and that's where he truly has become a game changer for this Indiana Pacers unit. Pascal is an excellent communicator, always taking the lead and ensuring everyone is in position defensively. And I think this play against the Knicks to end the first quarter really highlights what I'm saying perfectly. The Pacers are showing zone as they want to trap Brunson and force the pass. Indiana has pretty much not run zone all offseason, and you can tell Mathurin is confused about where he should be and when to send a double. Pascal sees this and starts telling him where to be while also making sure Bradley is far enough over into the paint to take away a basket cut if Josh Hart chooses to go for that. Then Pascal calls out the double for Mathurin, which forces the pass to Hart, who cuts into the paint, which is what Pascal knew was going to happen. Bradley's far enough over to get a good contest, forcing Hart to pass at the last second, and guess who's right there to steal the ball? Pascal, who read the entire possession perfectly while also making sure 2 of his other teammates were in the right spot and covering a man at the 3-point line all by himself. He's not only covering just an immense amount of space on the court, he's also reading the other 9 players and making sure he and his teams are in the proper position for whatever is going on. And against the Thunder, the Pacers have leaned more into this role, with Pascal spending a lot of his time to start the series, helping off Dort to take away driving lanes and crowd SGA, and his his impact has been clear. Yes, as the series went on, he kind of shifted more to an ISO defender against J-Dub or SGA more often, but he also excelled in those positions as well, showing his versatility as a man and a team defender. The Pacers just play such an exciting brand of offense, always looking to get out and run, never letting the ball stick in the half court, with just tons of player movement, screens, and other actions to always get guys going. However, it's the playoffs. Sometimes things do slow down and they get tight, and you need an answer for those moments. And that's what Pascal is. He's the answer when things slow down and the pressure is mounting and you need a bucket. And when the Pacers need to score, they will always feed Pascal in the post, where he's pretty much been cooking all postseason, scoring an impressive 1.10 points per possession, which is in the 90th percentile in post-up scoring this playoff. And from the post, Pascal can leverage his size if he's against a smaller defender, hitting a quick turnaround jumper over them, or using his body to create additional space and popping for that quick midi again closer to the basket. But he's also not afraid to get physical and will just back down the smaller defender all the way into the paint and get something easy right around the rim. When he's matched up with players his size, Pascal will almost always have one of two advantages. He's either quicker or he's stronger, and this gives him just tons of options to go to out of the post depending on who's in front of him. He always has some advantage over his defender, and against Cat, that advantage was speed and quickness, just spinning off of him and getting right to the rim, or pulling up for a mid-range once Cat's backpedaling trying to recover. Against Mobley and Chet, he used his strength to get them off balance, get all the way to the rim, or hit a midi with them kind of faded away. He loves that one dribble, just like shoulder into his defender pop shot, and he's been really effective at it all postseason. But he can also use that shoulder and that physicality to get them off balance and then spin to the rim, where he's either getting a foul or he's finishing through the contact, or they're just not there to recover. Pascal's ability to cause mismatches in the post is one way the Pacers have kept opposing defenses off balance all throughout the playoffs and have created additional opportunities off the ball through that player movement when teams are scrambling to recover, to send a double, or force Pascal into something that he's not comfortable with. It also helps that Pascal is an excellent passer who can read the entire court and take advantages of all that player movement and all that open space. Pascal's size, speed, and just overall physicality that makes him an elite post scorer also makes Pascal one of the best transition scorers in the playoffs. For the postseason, Pascal is scoring 1.38 points per possession in transition, which is in the 85th percentile this playoff. Pascal and the Pacers are really a match made in heaven. The Pacers love to get out and run, and Pascal just never stops running, insistently looking to get ahead of his man and force a mismatch if he can't keep up, or just score on the move. Pascal also gives the Pacers an additional ball handler who can grab and go coast to coast without missing a beat, letting him be an initiator of the fast break as much as he's the go-to finisher. While one knock on Pascal while he was with the Raptors and his last year in the playoffs was his lack of a three-point shot. With how dangerous he is inside the arc, the lack of the three ball means teams can just sag off of him and invite the drive. Pascal is good enough to beat that, but that's just an easy counter, and this postseason that has not been the case, with his three ball being on fire, taking away one of his last weaknesses. For the playoffs, Pascal is shooting 50% from the left corner, 46% from the right corner, and 41% on above the break three. Because of Pascal's shooting, if a team is trying to put a 5 on him, he's going to drag them out of the paint and open up that backline defense for the rest of the team to attack and finish. If teams put a smaller player on him, he has other ways to attack that, which means you pretty much have to guard him with a 4 and not a 5. So when the Pacers go small and put Pascal at the 4, it forces teams to react and do the same, which opens up the backline defense even more and the rebounding for the Pacers. And they've been pretty good on the offensive glass all postseason. And the big thing that the Pacers have had, especially against the Thunder in the finals, was that their small ball 5 or their small ball lineups are still big. They would run Pascal, Aaron Nesmith, Obi Toppin, Tyrese Halliburton, and Nembhard. And while, Nembhard's the smallest player on the court for them, he's still 6'2". Obi Toppin and Pascal are both 6'9", 6'8", and above. And so that means they can dominate the glass even more while also forcing teams to react to what they're doing. All of these tools and all of these advantages that the Pacers have had are created in part due to Pascal's elite versatility on the offensive end and his three-point being so deadly this playoffs. For the postseason, Pascal led the Pacers in points per game with 20.5 while shooting just the lights out from the court, 51% from the field, field, 42% from the three, 71% from the line, or 59.8% true shooting. This is with him going against all league defenders in each round, including the Defensive Player of the Year, Evan Mobley. Tyrese Halliburton is the engine of the Pacers offense. We saw that in the finals once he went out. Pascal is what makes them truly unstoppable when everything is running at 100. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.